there's one thing I'm going to tell you: never run a business from your mind or from your pocket or from emotions. Run a business from a system. Now, if you run a business from your mind, if you run a business from emotions, one thing you're doing is, first, you're setting a limit on that business, because that business can never go beyond your thinking. That is one. That business cannot grow beyond your pocket. Now, if you have a system, what the system does is, the system is limitless. It can be expanded to any length, to any breadth, and to whatever you want to take it to. As business people, align yourself to advanced organizations, advanced systems. When you align yourselves to advanced organizations and systems, you pick up things that will make you solid. We were aligned to the World Bank, and this is what it helped us do. Our system was World Bank standard. A good posture to assume your carrier to your destination. And this I call the strategic posture. Now, here I have fire, I have stone, and I have water here. Now, this is the strategic posture. Now, let's look at this. I mean, for some of you, I'm an engineer by training, so graphics and stuff I relate to very well. Let's look at this very well. I have not put fire here, and I have not turned this vehicle to face to have the base as the leading edge. The sharp point is the leading edge, and now with the sharp point being the leading edge, I have fire on top, and I have stone and water. My name is Victor Adamu. I do so many things. Well, I like to be called a social entrepreneur, basically, in a nutshell. Keep your face on your focus. Now, when you focus on what you're doing, you get more speed, you get more power, and you are closer to your destination. Your eyes on your destination, and it is easier for you to reach your destination if you have your eyes on the focus. And a social entrepreneur is it means I support other businesses, and I try to point startups and disadvantaged businesses in directions of opportunity for their own growth, for societal development, and not necessarily for profit. Money could be a good driver for any entrepreneur, but look at getting money the right way. And how do you get money the right way? You've already said it. It's about finding solutions to problems, and then you get the money you want. Be a problem solver in your space, and then the money you want comes out of it. Two things I use to identify passion. One, peace. I have peace. My mind is not troubled about something I do, even if I don't get the rewards or the results immediately. I have peace in doing that. That's one. Now, secondly, I find out that I do it effortlessly. And effortlessly doesn't mean that you don't have challenges, but along those challenges, as you do them, they don't weigh you down, they don't make you discouraged, and you find yourself, there's an extra drive, there's a push that keeps you going, even when things are difficult. And that's what I mean by effortlessly. Even in the midst of troubles, challenges, you keep going on.
My name is Adamu. I'm an entrepreneur and also the founder and CEO of Box Office Incubator. And so I founded Box Office about 3 years ago, and basically I lead the organization, and I also ensure that our strategic goals are actualized. I do a lot of operations, so in the business. I also coach businesses. I do some consulting for some organizations too, basically. I'll still go back to the story of Box Office. What I wanted to do, the solution I wanted for Box Office was, before I started, was for myself. I didn't have the money. I wanted a good product, a good service. I wanted somewhere very central, very accessible. So I was not willing to compromise because I didn't have money. And so the solution first was to find an office space for myself. My plan was to beg a friend of mine to give me the corner of his office. That was it. And so I took it further by solving it for everybody. And so I feel if everyone can solve their problems very well, then it shouldn't be a big deal solving for people. And so what I just do is extend myself to many people by creating systems and structures. So now I can bring in more people to not just solve my problems alone, but to solve everybody through your systems and structures. I think the life as an entrepreneur just means doing a lot of things. I remember when I started Box Office, I had to do just about everything. Maybe I wasn't married then, but I think we know how to multitask. That's just the word for it. So it's not a big deal. It's been my life. I can do many things at the same time. And so I also try to find a balance, meaning that you must take breaks when necessary. And so you don't work all around the clock. You know when to go home and to see your family. I think I just know where to draw the line, basically. Corporate governance. I need to know how easy it is to find people to support you, because now you're talking about very senior people. Most times they come busy. Most times also in Nigeria, people want something to be committed. So you cannot go and get a senior person without giving anything. So at this level of our businesses, how should be the approach for corporate governance?
I talked about corporate governance as a destination. If you start out and you know that this is a destination I'll go to, now it puts in your mind the kind of people you should start relating with, start bringing close to, or start featuring near them. And then as you do your things, sell your results to them, bring them around just by saying, come see what we have done. Just showing them, you understand, tell them your story and stuff like that. That way it will be very easy for you to win people over that will do it for you for free. You're not asking them, they wouldn't ask you, but because they've been moved by your story. They also, there's a selfish part in every one of us. They want to identify, to say, I'm on the board of this company that started well and is growing and has somewhere to go to. So for me, that's how I have been able to go around.
So my question is this, so that we can learn a little bit of the various things you've done. What would you consider your most important innovation? How did you promote it?
For me, to be one key thing about innovation is have an eye for this particular, when you have a client, and that tells you it is more about not people talk about what's this word, they talk about customer satisfaction, but that's about customer loyalty. You get loyalty when you have a big chunk of that particular customer. So try to make that customer happy repeatedly, just like I use even the Box Office Incubator. You've given office space, and then talk to people. People. Innovation is people. Talk, get feedback. How are you doing? Are you enjoying? What are your problems? And when they talk, don't just, okay, sorry, or no. Let that be the springboard for your innovation. Think of how you can change things around and get to that share.
My name is Blossom Ozurumba. I am a public servant, but beyond that, I'm also very passionate about digital media. I'll first start by saying I felt the speaker, that Victor Adamu, was talking directly to me, because some of the things he said today were conversations I had with myself about 6 months ago. But I think I was just a bit caged with, the fear of the unknown. How do I go about this? How do I commence? The first thing I would do is to work more on the people aspect. He gave some very interesting tips on how you could do that. Remember people's names, their birthdays, send them a birthday cake and all that. So that sort of helps you. You're not being factious, you're not being pretentious, but that sort of helps you to communicate to people that really you care about them beyond the work itself. But do you think that your belief in God has any role to play? Huge. Yeah. Can you explain that?
A lot of times, when we're in the space, it's not church. So I try to, but I say to people, when you might learn yours a different way. I don't know how you learned yours, but there's something about faith, and it's a law in the Bible. It's a law. I'm a Christian, and it's a law that it applies to any. If you use that law well, even if even if you are pastor or not pastor, if you follow that law well, that dogged belief that even when it doesn't look possible, you follow it. That's faith. And I only learned that, for me, I learned that from my Bible. I didn't learn that from business. And I say to my friends and people around me, I say, I don't know how you will take it, but to be a very good entrepreneur, you must have faith. You must